Hello YouTubers and welcome to another Doctor Who DVD review. This time I shall be taking a look at the Trial of a Time Lord box set. Let's go straight into this by taking a look at the box art for the actual box set. As you can see, it's got the Sixth Doctor, the Inquisitor and the Valeyard on the front there. It's a very nice front cover. You also got the spaceship thing, which is like the main setting for this story, and you've got like the ray of light which you see at the beginning, like when the TARDIS comes in, that really nice opening shot to open the whole saga. You can also see, like in the background, you've got like this sort of pinkish reddish pattern going on, which is actually really nice. It's like some sort of radar. You've also got some bits from the title sequence as well, which was always like an 80s thing with Doctor Who, like all these things here that you can see. Overall, very nice front cover. Also says here the Trial of a Time Lord, a complete 14-part epic from 1986 on 4 DVDs, packed with special features. It's a PG, and as it says, it's 4 discs. It just says 4 discs there. That is the side of the box set, so it contains 4. You've got the BBC and the 2 Entertain logo at the bottom there as well, and on the other side it's the same. So nothing like the beginning box set or Beneath the Surface. It's just the same on each side, and inside there that's what it would look like. Usually you have the 4 DVDs in there, but if you're a follower of my channel for quite some time now, you know that I display DVDs separate to my box sets. Alright, so here's DVD 1, which contains parts 1 to 4 of the Trial of a Time Lord, which is also known as The Mysterious Planet. On the front cover, we've got the 6th Doctor, and we've got this character here, played by Joan Sims, who is famous for appearing in the Carry On series of films. We also have this robot thing along with the planet of Vervoids in the background. You've just got like this weird pattern here, whatever this is, and you've got like the little sites from like where all the tribe are, what she is in charge of, and it just says at the bottom here the Colin Baker years 1984 to 86. It says this on all Colin Baker DVDs, of course. Again, this is a PG. Colin on this is wearing his blue cravat because this story is set in the Doctor's past, because this is like what it's all about. Anyway, I'll take a look at the side. That's what the side looks like, so nothing much to talk about there. And it just says at the back here, parts 1 to 4, The Mysterious Planet by the great Robert Holmes. At this white bit here, it gives you a description of what the Trial of the Time Lord's all about. It says this on all the back of the DVDs, so I'll just say it for this. I won't repeat it when I come to all the other ones. So the Doctor is on trial for his life. Plucked out of time and space by the Time Lords, he is charged with transgressing the first law of time. He must defend himself against a prosecution led by the sinister Valeyard. Now, the black bit is what this section of the trial is all about. The trial begins as the Time Lords review an adventure from the Doctor's recent past. The setting is Vervoids, where the Doctor and Peri find themselves caught in the conflict between a warrior tribe, a pair of intergalactic conmen, and a godlike robot. But deep below the surface of the mysterious planet lie secrets that threaten the very fabric of the universe, and to protect them, drastic measures have been taken that will shock the Doctor to his very core. Special features include a couple of commentaries. We have commentary 1 by Colin Baker, Nicola Bryant, Tony Selby, who played Sablon Glitz, and Adam Blackwood, who played Balazar. Commentary 2, which was just for part 1 only, was by Eric Saywood, who was the script editor. The Making of the Mysterious Planet is a new documentary featuring members of the cast and crew, deleted and extended scenes, which is on every DVD in this box set. 35mm film sequence, which is a full-length version of the opening effects shot, which was the most expensive in the show's history up to that point. We have trails of continuity from the original 1986 transmission. We have music videos, 3 videos showcasing the title sequence and music from season 23, because of course this season introduced the Dominic Glynn theme, and it was the only season to use it, because after that the Kef theme came in with season 24 when Sylvester McCoy became the Doctor. We have Wogan. Terry Wogan interviews Colin Baker and Linda Bellingham. Blue Peter, a Doctor Who related item from 1986. Points of view. Viewers' response to the programme, and that had Anne Robinson on it as well. And we have all the usual stuff as well, like photo gallery, etc. This story was originally broadcast on BBC One between the 6th of September and the 27th of September 1986. It's produced by John Nathan Turner, he produced more or less all of the 1980 stories from The Leisure Hive to Survival. And this particular story was directed by Nicholas Mallet. 98 minutes approx, it's 4 parts. The cover design was by Clayton Hickman, and the liner notes are by Niall Boyce. Clayton Hickman, I believe, did all the cover designs for this box set. And here you got all the usual stuff. But here you got the Seal of Rassilon label. It just says parts 1 to 4. There's Mysterious Planet. And there's your disc 1 there. Brief thoughts on this. Won't go too much into depth because I have to take a look at all the other sections of this story, The Trial of a Time Lord. But basically, The Mysterious Planet, it wasn't a very good beginning for The Trial of the Time Lord. I found it really boring, bearing in mind that the show had been off for about 18 months and a lot of fans had to wait a really long time for this. So when this came back, if I was one of those fans back then, I would have been severely disappointed. I think the robot villain is crap. Jones Sims' character isn't much to go by. To be honest, Sabalon Glitz, I don't know whether you will agree with me on this or not. I'm not really sure what fans' opinions are on Sabalon Glitz, but I don't really like the character. I'm really sorry. It's nothing against the actor, but the character, I just don't like the character at all. Nah, I really don't like Sabalon Glitz. It's a real shock, really, because this part is written by Robert Holmes, and Robert Holmes is like one of, if not the best writer in Doctor Who's history. But of course, sadly, Robert Holmes was dying as he was writing this. He didn't even get to finish the last part of this box set, which was The Ultimate Foe, which I'll come to later on. But yeah, The Mysterious Planet, not a very good beginning to season 23 by any means. It was a terrible way to open it. I just think it was just ridiculous. And as for the trial scenes, it was just boring and everything. It's not a very good beginning and not good all around. I didn't really like this one. Next up we have parts 5 to 8, which is also known as Mindwarp. Now, on this front cover we have quite a few things going on. We've got this character here with bolts of lightning coming out, which is very dramatic for a front cover. And yes, he was played by Brian Blessed. Just let that sink in for a moment. Once upon a time, Brian Blessed was in Doctor Who. Wow. He played a character called King Eucarnus. Also, on each side we have the Sixth Doctor and Perry, and at the bottom we have the return of Syl, who last appeared on TV in Vengeance of Varos, which was written by the same writer as well, Philip Martin. We also have this guy here, who's a member of Syl's race, another member of his race, known as Kiv, and he was played by Christopher Ryan, who then went on to play General Stahl in the new series. So it was nice to know that he was in the classic series as well. And at the middle there, we've just got like a little bit from the opening shot there, like a really nice looking opening shot. It looks alright now, 30 years later, to be honest with you. If we have a look at the side, not much going on here. It just says 528 there at the bottom. So yes, this was written by Philip Martin, as I just mentioned. Valeyard's prosecution continues as he presents damning evidence of the Doctor's interference on the planet Thoros of Beta. Dangerous experiments are being carried out there that could affect the future of all life, and they must be stopped. But why is the Doctor so determined to help his former enemy, the greedy, opportunistic Syl? And why has he turned against his companion Peri? One thing is for certain, someone will die. Commentary by Colin Baker, Nicola Bryant and Philip Martin. We have the making of Mindwarp. Yeah, we always have a making of documentary on all these ones in this box set. Again, we have deleted and extended scenes, and now and then on the Trial of a Time Lord looks at the locations used in Mindwarp, as well as it's basically, it says Mindwarp, but it looks at all the locations in the whole of this saga. So it looks at locations from the Mysterious Planet, as well as this story, Terror of the Vervoids, and The Ultimate Foe. A Fate Worse Than Death. Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant's commentary over the closing scenes of Part 14, the final part of this story, of course. Trails of Continuity. Again, we have Children in Need. Terry Wogan and Patrick Moore greet a plethora of doctors and companions. We have a comedy sketch, which is quite good. Lenny Henry is a doctor in this 1986 sketch, and we have all the usual stuff again. Broadcasted between 4th of October and 25th of October 86. Produced by John Nathan Turner, directed by Ron Jones. Again by Clayton Hickman, like all the cover art and all that. 98 minutes approx, 4 parts yet again. There's your little leaflet, and there is the disc. Overall, Mindwarp, what do I think after the very disappointing beginning, which was The Mysterious Planet? I think that Mindwarp was far superior to The Mysterious Planet. Philip Martin is a good writer, and for the most part, Vengeance of Varos I really liked. I've said that in the past. This one I really liked. It's one of the gems of the Sixth Doctor era on TV. It's an absolutely fantastic story, this. It's just way better, and you just wouldn't think it's part of the same arc that started with The Mysterious Planet, because this is just so much better. It's executed better, the cast is better, the writing's better, just everything about this is better. Brian Blessed just kicks ass. I just really like this story. Mindwarp is a definite improvement over Mysterious Planet, and it is definitely worth checking out Terror of the Vervoids. This was like a nod back to the Patrick Troughton era and the Tom Baker era, like all your base Under Siege stories, which usually are really fantastic. I really like those type of stories, so that's a good one for me so far. Here we have the Doctor and Mel on each side. We have the spaceship, we have a Vervoid, and we have these two robot guys, which don't really do much to me. I say they're robots. They wear those helmet things, and it makes them sound like the robots. They're actually an alien species, but I don't know what their purpose is in this story. They're just there to just say, oh look, we're aliens, there we go. But so, overall, it's an alright front cover. There's the spine, and this was written by Pip and Jane Baker. In a desperate bid to clear his name, the Doctor presents his defence to the charges laid against him. In the year 2986, the starliner Hyperion 3 makes its way to Earth. But all is not well. The Doctor and Mel arrive in response to a distress call, although not in time to prevent a murder. And this will not be the only deaths. Someone aboard will kill again and again to protect the secret, and while the murderer closes in above decks, in the hydromic centre, a terrifying new breed of creature is about to awaken. Special features include a commentary by Colin Baker, Michael Craig, Pip and Jane Baker, and Chris Clough. The Making of Terror of the Vervoids is a new documentary featuring members of the cast and crew, deleted and extended scenes again. We have The Lost Season, which is a very, very good special feature. I highly recommend you watch that. An exploration of the stories originally scheduled for this series before being replaced by The Trial of the Time Lord. And those stories include this one, which is absolutely brilliant, highly worth checking out. Check out my review for that, shameless plug. Now, get out of that, an examination of Doctor Who's all-important cliffhangers. Again, a very, very good special feature, highly worth checking out. Trails of Continuity, the Saturday Picture Show, Mark Curry interviews new companion Bonnie Langford, quite interesting, and all the rest of the usual stuff again. Directed by Chris Clough, and this was broadcast between the 1st and 22nd of November 1986. And this is 99 minutes approx. 4 parts yet again. And here is the inside. And there's a different picture of the Sixth Doctor. I much prefer this picture of the Sixth Doctor to this on the front cover here. I don't know why, I just really like that picture of the Sixth Doctor. And it's the same picture which was used on the front cover of the Big Finish audio adventure, the Last Adventure, which was supposedly the Sixth Doctor's swan song. Overall, Terror of the Vervoids is another good story. Pip and Jane put together something quite neat here. I wouldn't say that it's the best segment of the Trial of a Time Lord, but it's certainly, yet again, it's much better than the Mysterious Planet. I think that the whole Base Under Siege idea, it was good that they revisited it. This was actually the last TV that Colin Baker did for Doctor Who, if you exclude Dimensions in Time, because that's just a pile of crap. But yeah, Colin Baker's on fine form, and I'm going to sound really weird. It's a good introduction story for Mel, and a lot of people don't like Mel. I don't mind Mel. The thing that I don't really like is the screams at the cliffhangers. That's just really cheesy. They could have done without that. And I think that the Vervoids, the idea of them sounds really good, but they kind of look ridiculous. I'm not going to really go into why they look ridiculous. If you just look at the documentaries, it speaks for itself, really. Plus, this has kind of been done before. Plants coming to life, coming out of seeds. Didn't we see this in the Seeds of Doom? And to be honest, if I had to compare this to the Seeds of Doom, well, there is no comparison. Of course, I'm always going to choose the Seeds of Doom instead of this, because the Seeds of Doom is much better writing and everything like that, but much better execution. Nothing against Colin Baker's Doctor or anything. I think Colin Baker absolutely owns this in this. He's kind of like a different character in this compared to how he was in Mindwarp, and it really gave us an insight to see like what his Doctor could have been like if he was giving another TV season. But of course, his character has been expanded in the Big Finish universe now, so all is good. Last but not least is parts 13 to 14, The Ultimate Foe. On the cover here we have the Fantasy Factory, which is actually inside the Matrix. So yeah, we come back into the Matrix in this final part of the Trial of a Time Lord. This also sees the return of the Master, and we have the Valeyard here, and the Sixth Doctor there with a barrel with hands coming out of it, because of course this is all an illusion. And yeah, not a bad front cover. We just take that around. There's the spine and all that. This was written by Robert Holmes and Pip and Jane Baker. And when I say that, part 13 was written by Robert Holmes on his own. Pip and Jane Baker finished it off with part 14 because sadly Robert Holmes never got to finish the script in time because sadly he passed away, which was a real shame, because I think maybe if Robert Holmes was to finish the script, we might have got a much better payoff for this season overall. The Doctor has tried to prove his innocence, but the Valeyard is certain of his guilt and will stop at nothing to carry out a sentence of death. But there is a surprise witness waiting in the wings, one who knows the truth. With the trial in disarray, the Doctor flees into a Matrix to confront his enemy, into a nightmarish world of torture and punishment. Trapped within, he will have to fight for his life against the ultimate foe. Special features include commentary for part 13 only by Eric Saywood, and commentary 2 was part 14 only by Colin Baker, Tony Selby, Chris Clough and Pip and Jane Baker. The Making of the Ultimate Foe, a new documentary featuring members of the cast and crew, deleted and extended scenes, trails of continuity, trials and tribulations, a documentary looking at Colin Baker's tenure as the Doctor, a turbulent time for the series, and wow, what can I say about this documentary? It gives a fascinating insight to the whole era, right from the get-go when Colin Baker was first announced as a Doctor, all the way to his dismissal by the BBC, and it was really shit what they did to him, to be honest. I felt sorry for him because I felt that his Doctor, they could have done a lot more with his Doctor. I think another season or so, I think he would have been given a lot more credit than what he is now by fans and critics alike. It's like only recently that YouTube top 10 channel, MochMojo.com, did a top 10 which was like worst TV characters and TV shows, and the Sixth Doctor was in it, and it was just totally inappropriate. He's not a bad character. I like the Sixth Doctor. I really think that he's underrated, and all the hate that goes towards him is absolutely undeserved. Colin Baker is an absolutely brilliant person, and he's a great actor. So all the criticism that is aimed towards him is just absolutely unfair. It's unjustified, because I think a lot of the things that let him down, I've said this before, it was the writing and it was the BBC budget. The BBC wanted to cancel the series. We knew that. Michael Grade, he tried his utmost best to make sure that this show was canned, and eventually he succeeded, didn't he? But guess what? The show came back So you know what? He can go and fuck himself, can't he? Anyway, Pip and Jamie Baker and John Nathan Turner answer fans' criticisms. We have the infamous Doctor in Distress, which was a music video accompanying the 1985 charity single. 1985 hiatus, media footage reporting the resting of the show. And Saturday Superstore, Colin Baker takes viewers' questions and all the rest of the usual stuff. The story was originally broadcast on BBC One between the 29th of November and the 6th of December 1986. Produced by John Nathan Turner, directed by Chris Clough again. And this is only 54 minutes because it's only 2 episodes. It's the finale of this season. So there's your leaflet and there is your DVD disc. Overall, not the payoff I would have liked to have seen. I think that maybe it was planned out to be different, but because of behind the scenes bullshit that went on, yeah, it was a bit of a mess. The ending was a bit of a mess. And yeah, ultimately this was the last TV story to feature Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor, and it wasn't a very good way for his Doctor to end, let's just put it that way, because the next time we supposedly see the character is in Time in the Rani, and it's just absolutely bullshit, to be honest, like the way he's supposed to regenerate. But the Last Adventure by Big Finish has rectified all of this. That now is canon. That is how the Sixth Doctor dies. That's how he regenerates. Much better ending for the Sixth Doctor. So yeah, but overall, the Ultimate Foe, it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just not the payoff I was expecting. They put the Master in there. He was kind of in there for fan service. Again, they get Sablon Glitz's character in here as well, and I'm just not a really big fan of Sablon Glitz. I find him really annoying. I'm really sorry about that, but it just doesn't do it for me. Nothing to do with the actor. I think definitely his writing is so... it's just so bad. It looks like he belongs in a CBBC show. So anyway, that's the Ultimate Foe. Decent enough, but not enough to be the greatest payoff for this season. So as I'm making this video, according to Wikipedia, this is all one story. So you've got all those little sections in there, but overall it is all one story, and that makes this the longest story in Doctor Who's history. 14 parts long. And was I invested for 14 parts? Well, if you've watched this review all the way through, you'll know that parts 1 to 4 I found boring, tedious, it was just cringeworthy. Parts 5 to 8 I thought was really good, and I'd probably say that parts 5 to 8 were the best parts of this whole season. I think that parts 9 to 12 were also quite good. Not as good as Mindwarp, parts 4 to 8 obviously, but it's alright. There's some bits, well, I say there's some bits. There's a lot of problems overall with the Trial of a Time Lord. For starters, it's too long, and most of the cliffhangers, for some reason, John Nathan Turner insisted that a lot of them would just be like a zoom in on Colin Baker's face, which was just absolutely bizarre. It was just so cheesy the way it was done. Plus the screams at the end of the cliffhangers in the Terror of the Vervoids. Why did he have to do that? Oh, bad. Parts 12 and 13, I could see what they were doing, but it wasn't a very good payoff. And the fact that the very last words in this are carrot juice, carrot juice, carrot juice, spoken by the Sixth Doctor, they're actually the last lines he says on TV, which is just shit. Yeah, it's not very good. It doesn't do him justice at all. For the best acting, I would say that the Sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, is at his best actually in Terror of the Vervoids. I think he's at his best in that. And Mindwarp. Mindwarp is very good in. Well, he's good in everything really, but I think his best is in Terror of the Vervoids. As for best part of this, Mindwarp, easily the best part of this. It was my favourite part anyway. I think Philip Martin did a really good job with this. So, full marks to him. He was brilliant. I think that the weakest of this was actually the first bit, the mysterious planet. It was the worst possible way they could have started it. I would have much rather have seen the Nightmare first start this whole thing off. In fact, why didn't they still do that and just incorporate the trial thing into this anyway? I don't understand that. But the Nightmare first, it's been released on Big Finish and it is good on its own, so maybe not. But certainly, the Nightmare Fair, much better opener to season 23 if it would have existed for TV, as opposed to what we got instead with the Mysterious Planet. Yeah, that's all I've got to say really. Very mixed opinions on this box set. It was actually one of the last ones that I picked up. I picked this up last year, but for the most part, there's a few things wrong with this, but there's a few positives. I think the best thing about this is Mindwarp, because I really like Mindwarp, and it's one of the reasons for getting this box set. I just think that the whole thing is really good as a whole. And Terror of the Vervoids, as I said, it's not bad, even though it does have quite a few flaws with it, but nearly every story does really, doesn't it, if you think about it. So yeah, it's mixed bag really. It's up to you what you do with this, whether you get it or not. I myself, I would be on the fence if I was you. And it's up to you whether you want to get it. It really is. It's one of those love or hate seasons, I believe. You either love it or hate it. That's what it comes down to. You either love it or hate it. But the length of it, not a very good sign, because 14 parts and it's all the same concepts. The Doctor being on trial. Yeah, I could see people maybe getting bored with the whole thing after a while. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It's up to you what you do, really. Thanks for watching this all the way through, if you've managed to make it this far into this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, The Obsessed Whovian 95, for more Doctor Who content. Stay tuned for more Doctor Who reviews on this channel. And all I can say for now is I hope you're all having a good day, and bye for now.